Hello everyone, and welcome to the inaugural episode of my Ask Me Anything series. Since I'm hoping to make this a regular thing, please feel free to drop your questions in the comments and I'll add them to a future video. Without further delay, let's get started with the first question. Joshua the Van Guy asked, what are your plans for the Portal Wars saga? As far as the main series, that is Otto's story, it's done for the foreseeable future. If I get another idea, I'll definitely write it, but for right now that seems unlikely. That said, I do plan to revisit the world where the Portal Wars is set. I have several spin-off series planned, most of them revolving around the people who have to clean up some of the messes Otto made in his quest for power. I haven't started any of them yet, but they are on my to-do list. I also intend to write several series set on worlds that the Arcane Lords visited before their banishment. Joshua's second question is, I was wondering if you've ever considered making a sci-fi fantasy. If you don't know what that is, it's basically magic in space. It's funny you should ask that because I've been planning a big science fantasy project. I thought something like what Star Wars did with the High Republic, with comics, novels, and some audio stuff all tied together around a big galaxy-spanning story might be fun. Time will tell on that. I've got so many ideas I don't know if I'll live long enough to write them all. Thanks for the questions, Joshua. The next question comes from Jay Fowler, my #1 Aegis of Merlin fan. Jay asks, do you have plans to visit each of the magical realms with a quest or whatever for Conryu? We've seen a couple of the realms, but it's a great opportunity to expand this great series. That's a good question, Jay, and the fact is, in the book I'm working on now, The Pale Princess, Conryu does visit the realm of Earth for a chapter. But beyond that, I don't have any plans. The truth is, I don't really make long-term plans for my series. Conryu visiting the realm of Earth only happened because it popped up as I was writing the story, not because I thought it needed to beforehand. Thanks for the question, Jay. Next, Artium Carti Risco, I hope I said that right, asked, what advice could you give to people who struggle with motivating themselves to write? Before COVID, I would use the time between classes at university, but with everything virtual, I'm more easily distracted with everything at home, like my dog and easy access to games. First, I'd like to say it's cool to get a question about something other than my books, so thank you for that. As for overcoming distractions, that can be tricky. One way that can work, assuming you're comfortable with it, is to post on whatever social media you favor that you're starting a writing challenge, and then post your word count every day. Not wanting to disappoint people that follow you can be a powerful motivator. Another thing you might try is leaving the house and its many distractions, assuming there are no lockdowns where you live, and write somewhere without Wi-Fi. If you need quiet, I recommend a library, and if you prefer background noise, a coffee shop. If neither of these appeal to you, my final suggestion is to just start small. Find 15 minutes, turn off the internet, put the dog in another room, and see how much you can write. Try and do that every day. If you can make it a habit, it'll start to feel weird when you don't write. Once you reach that point, you can try adding a few minutes to your writing time each day. You'd be surprised how much you can write over the course of a year in just 15 minutes a day. I hope that helps, and thanks for the question, Artium. Next, John D. asked, do you have any plans for an origin story for the Arcane Lords? And I didn't, but now that you mention it, that might be a cool idea to explore, especially Amet-Sor, the first Arcane Lord. The problem would be writing such an evil character in a way that makes him likable. I'll be adding that to my idea notebook for sure, though. John also wondered if we're going to hear any more about Yaz. The short answer is probably not, though where stories are concerned, I never deal in absolutes. The longer answer is that I wrote the Dragonspire Chronicles to tell a specific story, and now that it's finished, I feel no need to revisit that world. Thanks for the questions, John. Finally, Shane Michaels asks, do any of your series/books have crossover characters or storylines? Not at the moment. So far I've kept everyone to their own worlds, although now that I think about it, the mortal characters may not leave their worlds, but the Demon Lords, Archangels, and of course the Void all appear in multiple series since they're active throughout the universe. So I guess it depends on how you look at it. None of the heroes have crossed over yet, but the supernatural movers and shakers are present in multiple series. Thanks for the question, Shane. And that brings us to the end of my first Ask Me Anything video. I had a lot of fun making it, and I hope you enjoyed listening. Just remember that if you have a question, feel free to drop it in the comments, and I'll add them to a future video. You can also use the contact form on my website, jamesewisher.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, goodbye.